AI art can shut down. Its companies are not the big scary boogeymen you think they are. In fact, they've been sowing their seeds of destruction since the beginning, and they really don't want you to know this. Welcome to the Art Mentor. My name is Sean, and today I'm going to go through every single plausible scenario that would cause AI art as you know it to completely crumble, its companies shut down, its users dissipate, and to be honest, this has been set in motion since the beginning. But they don't want you to know about any of this. All right, so just to kick the hornet's nest early in this, why are most AI users in AI? Why are people saying that they want to get into this? But I'm just going to be honest with you, it's not for authentic creation. It's not for the authentic joy of creativity. In fact, I would say that they completely lack interest in authentic creativity altogether. And instead, there's a much bigger force at play, a much larger driving force that's causing people to want to drift towards AI art. And if you check Fiverr, I think that it's pretty obvious as to what that is this intense grift culture. And every single user that is involved in AI art that's really a strong supporter of it is not in it because they want to be an artist, because they want to be a creative, because they're actually unleashing their dreams. It's always because of money. There is not a single person who is such a fervent user and supporter of AI art technology who is not in it for their own financial benefits. Like literally every single person who supports it always has the same exact reasons. Well, I want to build a business. Well, I want to sell a product. And then too, like ironically are all these people that are into Dungeons and Dragons, which is ironically one of the most artistically supportive communities. And even they're saying, well, like, I just do it for my D&D campaign. So there right there proves my point. All you're doing is you're trying to save money. And all you're trying to do is not spend money. That's the heart of the grift culture surrounding AI art users. Because what you're gonna find is that by using AI image generation technology is that you're paying a premium and getting crumbs. You were promised a feast and you're not even getting table scraps from it versus what companies are making from it who actually make that tech. And even if you're an artist watching this right now and you're thinking to yourself like, well, look at all of these people who are making so much money. Okay, who? Because all the people that were making money from it were already making money before this. And it wasn't even in art. But then as soon as AI image generation tech came along, all they did was they shifted their grift from one focus to another pretty seamlessly. They already had a following, they already had a customer base, they had a user base, and then they just shifted it into this new product. But for the average AI art user, go ahead and look on Fiverr, and that is gonna be their future. $15 commissions. But for the rest of them, they're gonna wise up. Like once they learn the harsh reality, which is that it's an unsupportive community, people are just trying to grift off each other so that they can grift their own business from it. And they're trying to not support each other in order to foster authentic interest and foster authentic support of them. No, all they're trying to do is learn from one another so that their grift can be stronger than somebody else's. And it's something I've been noticing since the outset of this tech. But hey, those $15 commissions, you earned it. In using this tech, all the users are gonna learn is that there's absolutely no upward trajectory for any type of actual sustainable income from it. Just being honest. Now let's shift gears from this being a personal endeavor to a corporate endeavor. And let me just ask you this. What is the most valuable asset to any business? Is it their customer base? No. Is it their market? What is it that really sets one business apart, allows one business to skyrocket from another? Well, the real answer there is a brand. When you have a unique, authentic, and personal brand, you are able to propel yourself either as an individual, as a team, or as a business. The issue there with AI image generation usage is that there's absolutely no differentiation. Like when you look out across the landscape about what everybody is doing with AI image generation, you gotta admit, it's all the same because that's literally what the data was trained on in order to do is to present you with the best, most popular, trendiest, samey looking crap sandwich that everybody else is trying to do. What does that do for a business and how could that potentially serve them? So if you take a look at any company that really honors their brand, that really wants to stand out from one versus the other, and they look across all of them, let's say that all of the big game companies all just jump headfirst into this, right? And then all their games look the same, and all the characters look the same, and all the locales look the same, then what's gonna attract anybody to wanna play any of their crap? everybody's gonna then shift to the ones that aren't using AI tech, and the ones that look different, and the ones that look authentic, and the ones that look unique. And the only people that can do that are artists. The only thing that can do that are teams. And let me just ask you this, friend. How much do you think the art department in any company costs? Like, do you really think that they're walking around as like millionaires? No way. So for you that are coming to AI art because you think it's going to allow you to be the next McDonald's of artistic and image production, let me just tell you this. This is a common misperception because cutting costs doesn't net you profits. Teams make you profits. Brands make you profits. Doing something unique makes you a profit. So if you're not doing anything unique and you're doing what everybody else is doing, how are you to possibly stand out? And how is any major competitor in any market supposed to stand out by pushing out the same looking crap as everybody else? Now, our company is going to use this? Yeah, sure. Are some of them doing it? Sure. I've seen a lot of online games, a lot of app games that all look the same, and they have the same crappy AI images that have the same dumb image flaws as every single one of them that came before that. Go ahead and scroll through Instagram. You'll know what I'm talking about. But here's what I want to challenge you with if you're like, well, all these companies are doing it. No, friend, some companies are going to do it, but they're also the companies with abusive corporate cultures that are super toxic. So as an artist, like, do you really want to be a part of that? Because just to be honest, that sounds like it would kill my artistic soul. How about you? Now, this next one's going to come as a surprise, but this year is definitely going to kick some very angry hornet nests. And I want to tell you why I think this might be one of the last years of this Wild West landscape of AI image corporation domination. Because when you look at things right now, I just want to ask you, in this current year that I'm recording this and I'm pushing this out to you lovely people here, what happens every 4 years in the United States? Well, of course, you might know, this is presidential election season. And what happens around presidential election season every single time, before, during, and after, is we get an insane amount of propaganda surfacing from every corner of the web. We see an insane amount of fake news and deep fakes and photos and videos that were altered and tampered with. But now what? What is the next version of this going to look like this year when we elect a new president, and in the next 4 years too when we elect that next president? And what type of egregious, horrendous images and videos are going to come out? Just think about that. And just think about this. Like, as that's going to come up, I'm just going to say, please, artists, please encourage the AI users to just abuse the crap out of that technology to do it. Because in doing that, they're gonna put some serious nails in their coffins, and it's gonna be an awesome crap show to watch. Like, let's put this into another context. What horrific, egregious issues has AI art already been able to create? Very questionable photos and videos of children, the ability to undress girls, and create really explicit images of teachers and other politicians. Now, let's put that out on a completely national and potentially even global level. What other horrific outcomes are going to come about as more and more people try and use this tech in order to slander or bolster certain people that they favor or disfavor? Now, what's going to happen from all that? I mean, can't you just see this coming here? Because it's definitely going to happen, but it's definitely going to piss off enough politicians that all of their focus is going to swing right to those companies. Like, honestly, I cannot imagine a potential future in which case any type of major political pressure doesn't develop from the abusive utilization of this technology. But I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm going to be sitting back, eating some popcorn, watching the show as it all goes down. And I hope you'll join me. Now, riding the train to my last point, let me ask you this. What brings down a house of cards faster than a souped up leaf blower? Legality. So what is going to happen eventually when AI image generation companies piss off enough people, when they slander enough people, when they start to take a look at what is actually going on deep inside of all of their tech and all of their training data? And the current landscape is only promoting one thing. It's the capitalization of artists through an abuse of rights, of ethics, and of morality. And that will not sustain itself. And if you've not noticed this, or if you're not privy to this information, there are literally more and more lawsuits coming out every single month against all of the AI companies that are developing the tech. You might have only ever heard about the ones that are specifically about the artists against AI companies like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, DeviantArt, and such. But listen, there's like more every single month. And then you're gonna say this, well, that one won't stick. Okay, cool. But here's the beautiful part. This is not about shooting it down with a bazooka. This is death by 10,000 needles. Listen, eventually, one of those, just one of those, is going to stick. Every single month, as more and more companies, more and more people, more and more plaintiffs are going after AI image generation companies, one of them will stick. When one of them sticks, those companies will bleed, and they are going to bleed hard, and it's going to open the floodgates for actual action against every single one of them. And that's going to bring a massive change. Do you want to know what also will bring a massive change? Even worse than that is eventually when Lion is investigated, when they are forced to crack open the vault and see what's in there. And AI bros are always like, well, you can already see that. No, you can't. No, you can't. Really? Is that why there were like 10,000 explicit pictures of minors that were put into that? Really? Did you know that? And you just started to use it anyways? Like, come on. You know, and you just got your head in the sand about that, AI bros, just to be honest with you. But all it takes is one single lawsuit to stick, and it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen maybe this month. It might not happen this year, but it's gonna happen, and that house of cards is coming down hard. Now, what pill is AI art currently pushing to everybody that's so oversold and so underdelivered? And one of the main target audiences, ironically, are artists, are creatives already. And you're being told like, man, this is gonna go ahead and it's gonna supercharge what you're currently doing. It's gonna unleash your creativity. It's gonna allow you to envision and create things more and more. And it's gonna allow you to do it faster, and it's gonna allow you to do it better. And it's better than you, and it's better than what you can currently do, and it's gonna be better than what you'll ever be able to do, and you're never gonna be able to ever match what it can do because you're not good enough. Do you see where I'm going with this one, artist? Do you see what it's promising you right there? But I just gotta be honest with you. This is a tech that literally nobody's using, that literally nobody is championing from an actual artistic field who's not, again, just trying to hop on a grift train. And they're actually an authentic creative, somebody who's actually loving this along with what they're currently doing. And you've also been oversold this idea as an artist that somehow you have to incorporate this, that you're gonna get left behind, that you are going to need to adapt or die. Like, just to be real with you, the only thing that you're gonna adapt to is dying by utilizing this tech. There's nothing for you in it because what it promises you, friend, is a panacea to what you don't want to admit, which is that it's just gonna take you a little bit more time to get to where you are wanting to go to. And I know that you can do it, and it's been happening for artists since forever. But that time compression that it promises you, like, oh, well, you don't need to build those skills, that's actually exactly what you need to do. This is classic. Like, if it promises you something that sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Now, what you'll also notice is that if you've actually dedicated any part of your life to being an artist, to learning how this craft works, into being better, is that AI art is wholly unimpressive, is that it can't match what you can do, is that it can't ever go ahead and make something as good as you can. Like even this speed paint that you're watching me do throughout this video, AI art will never be able to do this. I know this for a fact. And listen, I'm not even a top tier artist. I don't work for Blizzard or Riot or Magic the Gathering right now. This is just me. And that's just me being real and humble with you. But put this up, stack this up against the real titans of industry, the people that are working in industry. And there's no comparison. AI art doesn't even hold a candle. It doesn't even flicker, not even a spark there. So what you will find, the more that you get into this, is that it's actually incredibly unhelpful, is that it's completely dissatisfactory, is that it cannot possibly ever match exactly what you have in your head. But instead, all it does is it forces you to make a compromise. Like, yeah, that's good enough. I just want to ask you this, friend. As an artist, do you just want to be good enough? Do you want to marry somebody that's good enough? Do you want to have kids that are good enough? Do you want to have a life that's just good enough? Man, I hope not. That's a pretty lousy existence. A lot of people fall into, friend. But you being an artist, you know better, and that's why you stuck here, isn't it? But what AI art promises its customer base is just short-term usage. And again, why they're not going to be around for very long once they pick up on the fact that they can do better, they can learn more. And one of the actually most unimaginable things that's come about from AI art has been the amount of people that have tried AI image generation, been dissatisfied with it, and then started to pick up the pencil again, started to learn how to draw and paint again. And I don't think that that's gonna stop. And I actually have been noticing more and more people interested in art once again as an unintended side effect of this tech, which is pretty cool. Like, if no one's ever told you this, let me be the first, okay? You don't have to use this tech. You're not gonna get left behind by using it, and it's not gonna compensate for anything that you don't already know how to do or can't do. What is gonna propel you forward, what is gonna present you with more possibilities in the future is only one thing. It's you, and it's what you can do, and it's by you delving into what only you can create, the way that you can best create it. Don't give up on yourself, and don't expect technology to mend what you haven't sewn together already. You ever thought of it like that? Now, for all you artists that were afraid of this tech and this video is helping you, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, because I see y'all coming back week to week to watch my content. And if you want more help and advice on how to actually get through this, but also how to grow yourself as an artist, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and share this video with somebody who needs to hear it. And you definitely need to hear this next part. Now, let me tell you why Sora is currently wrecking the market and the interest group of every single person that was really big into AI image generation, and why it's actually really good for artists. Now listen, I saw this happening a year ago, and I knew this was gonna come. I knew this day was happening here because I saw every single grifter hopping on board the AI image generation train, and ooh, look at that. Now there's a video image generation train. Great. Now instead of one image, we have like 10,000 images in a single reel that we can all critique right there and that are gonna look terrible. But here's the point in this, is that now the focus has shifted. Now the big gold rush is no longer image generation, now it's video generation. Oh my God, now everyone thinks that they're gonna be a video producer. And again, now we have all of those people that were on one train, hopping aboard a new hype train. They're trying to grift that tech, and they're gonna try and ride that one out, because that's where the hype bubble is now currently shifting to. And the one thing that I think is really great about this is that there's always gonna be a new shiny toy. There's always gonna be something new for those kids to play with. There's always gonna be a new focus, a new interest, a new hype, a new trend. And that's what Sora gave everybody. And it's not just gonna stop there, because everybody that's in this, for the wrong reasons, again, because they're not authentic creators, they're just trying to get to the next gold rush. And this is always how big tech works. And the worst thing that they do, that AI users are totally sipping the Kool-Aid on, is that they have you ride out this bubble of just wait until you see what happens. Just wait a few more years. Just wait 5 years, just wait 10 years, just wait 20 years, just wait 50 years and see what this will do. And what does that do? Y'all, tech companies are essentially drug dealers. And what they do is they keep everybody hooked onto their product by promising them a bigger high and a bigger reward. But inevitably, what always happens is that that's literally just how they grift more money from you. That's how they get you. And that's how they keep their users hooked. Now, I'm gonna give you a really hot take here, but it's also a really honest one. But AI image generation has generally not gotten any type of significant upgrade nor improvement in the last year. Like when AI art really became popular in 2023 to this moment right now, there's really no substantial upgrade. It still contains the same flaws. It still contains the same errors. It still can't do the same things. And it still can't match the power and creativity of you as an artist. It's what really makes the AI user base seethe about artists, is that they were never able to get into this enough to actually build their own authentic creations. Not that anybody ever stopped them, by the way, because they could come on here on YouTube and try and learn how to build an Etsy business, but not to watch a drawing tutorial, but that's their choice. But these tech bubbles, they always promise the future and under-deliver it until the next thing comes out, and then they shift your focus. And even the fact that they're throwing billions or trillions of dollars at this tech, it means nothing. That is just the cost of doing business, and that is how corporations work and sustain themselves until the next big tech bubble comes, the next shiny object comes along, and it's gonna come next year too. Watch it. Now, let me tell you why all artists out here, we should really thank social media, ironically. We should thank social media for this current anti-AI art rebellion that we're all currently experiencing while you're probably watching this video right now, I hope. Let me ask you this to put this into another context. When was the last time that you ever bought anything that had a big label that proudly stated slave made? Or when's the last time that you bought clothing that would said proudly sewn by children in sweatshops? Hopefully never. And what am I getting to? Let me land this plane. Is when people eventually develop a critical consciousness, because it's no secret as to how the AI training data was collected and developed and then implemented. It was taken without consent, which is an extreme ethical violation in any research. And every single person that is wholly ignoring this is really just sitting in entitlement. And they're doing that because they think that they are able to, because it's out there, just because it happens to exist, and because of that, and because everybody's doing it, which they're not, by the way, then they think that they're entitled to use it. And it's really just a bold rejection of facts, which is that this is a horrible, discriminatory, and oppressive move. And because of that, people are going to develop a critical consciousness about it. It's going to come to light. And when you take a look at the history of the world, this has always been the case, that certain people were discriminated and oppressed. And you take a look at this globally around the world, literally every culture has experienced this and or implemented it. And what we are currently seeing right now is a new landscape that is called digital discrimination, where we are discriminating against artists just because of the fact that we're easier targets than every other major corporation is, because we're more underrepresented, and because of that, it makes us an easy target. But the best part is that thanks to social media, ironically, this didn't happen the way that all the companies expected. They didn't expect so much pushback. They didn't expect people to buck back against them and to outright call them out for it, because I just want to let you know, y'all should be thankful, artists, that this didn't happen 20 years ago, because it totally would have taken over everything and nobody would have known about it. But thanks to platforms like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, we've been able to know the truth. And we've been able to share our philosophies and why we're not going to succumb to fear, why we're not going to succumb to bullying and peer pressure for using a technology that is outright harmful. And in any artist that is using AI tech, I just want to let you know, in no version of this are you using any form of AI tech that is not directly hurting another artist. I really cannot see this as any other way other than you are building yourself by taking pieces from somebody else. And that doesn't sit well with me, and I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm just gonna hope that what I'm about to say is accurate, but I hope that that's not you, friend, because you can't build yourself out of pieces that don't fit. Another big shutdown scenario has to involve the fact that just like any newborn, which AI tech currently is, it just requires way too much from its parents than the parents are typically able to provide. And specifically, I want to talk about resources from its mother. And what mother am I talking about? I'm talking about the Earth right now. And it's currently operating at such an intense model that there's no way this is going to be a sustainable process. Let me just tell you some big facts right now that totally blew my mind and why AI companies can't possibly keep up with this. Y'all check this out. There's 1.7 billion gallons of water that AI uses a year. That's crazy. Do you know what that is? That's 2,500 Olympic-sized swimming pools. I don't even know if there's 2,500 Olympic-sized swimming pools in the world, but that's a crap load of water. It's also guzzling up so much electricity from power plants that's leaving a disastrous carbon footprint on the world, worse than what it already was. And what's that effect? It's going to hasten global warming. It's going to hasten our climate change. And these are things that we can't undo. There is so much electricity being pumped into this. And OpenAI, by the way, admittedly said that they plan to increase their resource usage by tenfold every year. Now, just to put this into perspective, before AI came out, humanity currently uses 75% more of its natural sustainable resources than the planet is able to keep up with. And now you're telling us that it's going to be tenfold more than what it currently is every single year? And that's just one company doing it. Never mind Microsoft, never mind every other big corporation that's gonna try and sink its teeth into this before they realize it's just garbage crap tech. How can that possibly keep up with itself? Well, unless they've got Tony Stark cooking up an arc reactor there, don't see that happening, friend. Now look, any single reason in this video would justifiably make AI art as we know it completely crumble. But there's one big one that I definitely need to put forward for you, friend, and it's just simply this. What is going to happen when AI art gets regulated? It is coming, it is going to happen, it will move at the speed of government, but it is going to happen. And what that effect is going to produce is basically like a toddler that gets their iPad taken from them. There's going to be kicking, screaming, bemoaning. There's going to be things that you can't generate, things that you can't do. There's going to be a complete overhaul on what's allowed and what's not allowed. And it's going to completely destroy all of the culture surrounding AI image generation, which rightfully so it deserves, because it's not right how it is right now. In fact, I would say that regulation is going to completely destroy the product as a whole and bring all of the focus and all of the innovation that's being brought into that to a complete screeching halt, because there's going to be a lot of no-nos, and then as more lawsuits get piled up onto that, it's going to create further and further restrictions from it. And then eventually what it will inevitably do is it will completely be disassembled and then put into some type of ethical product. And I sincerely hope that that happens, because the current AI tech, does it hold promise? Like as a product, as a thought, as an innovation, like AI image generation holds a lot of promise. I can't deny that. But the implementation of it has been horrendous and egregious, and it's been nothing but harmful for everybody involved. And because of that, it's not going to stay this way forever. It's going to get regulated because it's going to affect the right person or the right group of people who are going to bring this into play. And once that happens, do you really think you're still going to get away with all this stuff as an AI bro? Most definitely not. Another beautiful way the AI art can crumble is through what it's currently doing right now, which is an unsustainable pricing model. And it's so classic. And think about this just like a video game, okay? When a video game first launches, what do? They create an alpha, then they create a beta, and those are all free. Then they get you to actually buy the game. Then they get you, once they're in the game, to buy all the add-ons. And then they get you to go ahead and buy the expansions. And all throughout that, they get you to buy more resources so that you can do more stuff and you can spend more time. And then they got you addicted like a drug user, hooked on their product, right? So it's the same way that AI image generation started. Because when you really take a look at it, it's dirt cheap. Like for you to have a Midjourney subscription, it's really cheap. Even as a company, it's really cheap for them. You just need to understand that it's coming. Like there's going to be a massive price hike, and every single person out here that whines and complains about how much Adobe costs every single month, man, have you ever seen posts from people that call themselves professional AI artists? Check out to see, like I've seen this post circulating around Twitter that shows how they're supposed to be spending like a couple $100 every single month. Like that is so dumb. Like just think about this. If you actually spent that per month on learning how to be an artist, if you were to like sink yourself into like an actual art program that's online, you would be colossally better than dumping all of that money, all that time, energy, and those resources into crap image generation. That's still unsatisfactory, that still doesn't net you what you want, that still is not going to get you anywhere further in life than where you currently are, friend, because you're looking for a shortcut. And to my art friends watching this, man, I hope that's not you, and I don't think that's going to be you, because you know that that's not going to bring you what you want. It's not going to bring you the admiration. It's not going to bring you the financial support that you eventually want, right? Another thing too is that even their CEOs have come out and said that it's currently financially unsustainable. It's not something that they're going to be able to do long term for what it is, and what inevitably is going to come about is a massive price hike. It's just simple here, y'all. It requires too many resources at too big of a cost for too little of a profit, and that is going to collapse. Now let's take a look at how many people are currently using AI image generation and why this is not going to last, okay? So when you log on to Midjourney, last I checked, there was like 1.2 million users. And that's a pretty substantial number, right? And you're going to get on there and be like, oh my God, like look at all these people doing it. Man, there's just no way I cannot utilize this tech. I have to get educated up on here. I have to learn this, right? So if you follow the way that any other subscription service works, is that honestly, it's just like an HOA pool. And if you've never lived in a housing community, basically works like this. Less than 10% of the people that live in the community will actually ever use the pool once within a calendar year. And same thing goes with anybody that is currently signed up or downloaded any type of image generation software. Less than 10% of them are actually committed users, and less than 10% of that 10% are doing it on a daily basis. So what does that mean? When you take a look at the entire population of the world, or even the entire population of artists throughout the world, that is a drop in the bucket compared to the 8 billion people that live on planet Earth. So for you thinking that you have to get educated up on here, or you thinking that this is going to be your way into a better future, it's not. Now, if you didn't know this too, AI companies are now trying to invade schools. They're trying to poison the minds of children, and they're trying to get younger audiences hooked on the product to try and make it more viable. And to expose all this, I made an entire video for you right here. Check out how it's going to destroy education and our education as we know it. And hey, if this helped you, make sure you share it with somebody that you know. Thanks for watching.